We've been hearing about all the problems Joe Biden and the Democrats are encountering as they try to advance their legislation packages in Congress. If it's not the usual recalcitrant opposition they meet when dealing with Mitch McConnell, then they start fighting among themselves as moderates and progressives disagree on priorities and neither is willing to give way. Obviously, this is not a good situation, and it's imperative they find ways to move their agenda forward, or instead of a much-needed win, they will instead potentially cripple Biden's presidency in the first year, and worse, with an eye to a super important election that will be held a little more than a year from now. I'm seeing all of this, and I am as discouraged as anyone who supports the Democratic Party these days would be. At the same time, I try to look for patterns in the astrology to find out if my worries are justified or if perhaps I should be a little more optimistic. So what do I look at? My sense is that the charts to focus on would be Schumer, McConnell, Pelosi, McCarthy on the Congress side, and then Biden and Kamala from the executive branch, since success or failure would have to be mirrored in all of these charts in some way. To illustrate how the upcoming period, especially next month, October, is likely to turn out, look for short videos I will post over the next several days featuring each of these political characters. Next month is of course super important, but it's also likewise very important to gauge how the astrological cycles look going into next year. In the near term, the assessment centers on how the three planetary stations we are moving toward next month align with each chart, and in the longer term we look at cycle changes as the year ends and we move into 2022. Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto will station next month, and by next year Saturn moves deeper into Aquarius and Uranus goes into higher degrees of Taurus, while Jupiter goes into Pisces in late 2021 and in the new year, but by mid-May 2022 it already enters Aries. It is by looking at how these astrological factors affect the most relevant charts that we are likely to get the best sense about how things are going to turn out.